Good evening. This is the 11 p.m. update for the January 15th winter weather event. Call it a storm. I certainly do. And Washington, D.C. Metro certainly does, along with Baltimore, as they have upgraded their zones up to winter storm warnings with snowfall around 4 to 8 inches now expected based on the snowfall rates they've already experienced. There are reports down here of snowfall moderate to heavy snowfall is being reported, and that is all heading up towards our neck of the woods. We haven't upgraded yet around the Philadelphia, New York City metro. We're still at winter weather advisories in our region, with again the expectation of 2 to 4, maybe 4 to 6 inches. Winter storm warnings are not issued for the Philadelphia, New York City metropolitan areas until you exceed 6 inches or are expected to exceed 6 inches, which is currently not expected by my forecast or the National Weather Service forecast. So that's why we haven't seen that extension further northward. Could that change? Well, I'm not expecting it, but certainly we are seeing an overperformance of snowfall in the southern mid Atlantic. We'll see if that occurs in the northern mid Atlantic as well. In Freehold, where we are located, we have seen a burst of about 0.75 inches of snow in about a 20-minute period, pushing our snowfall total now up to 2 inches in Freehold, New Jersey, ranging from about 1 to 2 inches around much of central New Jersey, hearing about half an inch to an inch also further north, about 1 to 2 inches further south. So we're pretty much in the ballpark of where everyone is right now, and what's pretty much to be expected. So that low end of the forecast is pretty much about to verify at 2 inches. So, where do we go from here? Well, we continue to see snow continuing through this evening into the early morning hours. You take a look at our radar. I put back on the winter view to show you where the rain snow line is with snow, mix, and rain still to the south of New Jersey, currently over extreme southern Delaware. That's going to slowly creep northward by about 3, 4 a.m. We should start to see it in southern New Jersey around Cape May, Atlantic City, Wildwood, those locations slowly pushing its way northward. And in the meantime, we'll continue to see all this snowfall continuing and the intensity of it also increase as we go on through the overnight hours. Notice here we're seeing this burst of intense snowfall here, supporting the increase of the winter storm warnings around the Washington D.C. and Baltimore areas. Well, let's take a look at the infrared satellite picture and take a look at that. There is our burst of lifting here that is now moving into the Delaware River Valley heading towards New York City. How does that correspond to what we're seeing in terms of our lifting parameters? Well, again, all right, let's go back to the southern mid Atlantic, and you can see the lifting is showing up here at 850 millibars, pretty well supported. So we have that lifting showing up here. As we go further northward at 925 millibars, we have strong lifting that has been going on, that has been supporting the light snow developing, it has only continued to intensify as the warm air transport continues to grow. Again, at 9 to 25 millibars, our rain snow line is still just to the south of New Jersey, just about ready to clip portions of Cape May. Don't be surprised if you're on the tip of Cape May, you start hearing some sleet mixed in with this snowfall, which again is pretty much expected. As we go further up in the atmosphere and take a look at 850 millibars, again, we're still well below freezing at this level, even well south of New Jersey, and our frontogenesis at this level is also intensifying and increasing. But what really stood out to me is that now we're starting to see that at 700 millibars, that lifting growing, while our polar short wave, which we can see right here, is approaching. So now we're starting to see a combination of all these lifting parameters coming together and growing and developing. So as a result, we start to see the potential for that heavier burst of snowfall. So we're going to keep an eye on these potential winter storms. In fact, we just got one of my followers just received a winter storm warning for Lancaster County, PA, which is out here. We'll see whether that updates while we go through the video as we go through our updates. Not surprising. I think this is starting to overperform. And this is going to be very interesting over the next couple hours to see exactly how this is going to play out. But the potential here for overperformance is certainly increasing based on the observations we're seeing, the lifting. And this is all due to the fact we have Arctic air in place. We have moisture starting to being thrown into Arctic air. You have frontogenesis, you have the lifting. When you have an Arctic air mass in place, you do not need a lot of moisture. You do not need a lot of lifting to create some mischief. And again, here in Freehold, New Jersey, we're still at 24.6 degrees. We have not budged from that temperature. There has been no sign of any type of warming whatsoever. So that's something to consider when you take a look at what we're expecting. This is the European guidance here. And again, there's this idea here that I like the immediate coast here, but I think this mixed line is going to be more around Long Island. This is going to be more snow and sleet. It's going to be a real sleet mess right around central New Jersey. Let's say central Monmouth County. Actually, let's go back further northward, up to about LaGuardia, down through New York City, northern and central Monmouth County, through northern Burlington County, just south of Trenton, back through the southern suburbs of Philadelphia. I think that's where we're going to see a lot of sleet setting up for tomorrow morning. But before we get to that point, we have from now at 11 p.m. all the way through to about 6 a.m. of steady snowfall. And then we start getting that mix line really pushing northward from southern New Jersey into the I-95 corridor, but then it stalls out from there. So there's a question as to whether or not we actually see a full mix over here, or whether we just see snow mixed with sleet at times. On the latest HRR guidance, we continue to see that, and the HRR has been on the warmer side of model guidance here, and you kind of expect that with mesoscale guidance because it tends to really amp up the potential for warm air transport because you have a lot more convective components in the model guidance that can sometimes see the warm air transport a little bit better. Again, you could see now the guidance is kind of stepping away from that rain line pushing north of New York City. Now it pretty much stops at New York City, a little bit colder, and you get more snow and sleet here. The bottom line to me is that the surface temperatures are colder. We're seeing the potential here for a colder outcome. And if we have an overperformance of snow to begin with, it's going to be a lot harder to get that colder air to budge now you have that fresh snowpack in place to fight against what is essentially at the surface very weak warm air transport. So I'm getting more and more concerned about the potential for freezing rain continuing rather than pure rain. We could be stuck at 32 rather than 33, introducing rain at the very end of this and then changing back over to snow. I could also see over from basically 11 p.m. through 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. We still have snow continuing on the I-95 corridor and only a mix down towards southern New Jersey. Again, I think this could actually be freezing rain rather than just plain rain. By the time we get to 5 a.m., that snow ice line is still to the south of Philadelphia, basically around Atlantic City. New York City Metro continuing all snow, and this could be bursts of moderate snowfall here. Again, the snow ratios are going to be 15 to 1. So you got to have a chance to pile up here. And then again, as we go further, we get to about 7:30 a.m., right in the heart of the rush hour. You have snow lifting into New York City. You get a little bit of a break around Philadelphia. That rain snow line is questionable as how far north it gets. And then as we move on through the rest of the morning hours, the back end of the storm moves through. I would not be surprised if this is more freezing rain. This is sleet and this is snow, changing back all over to snow as we head towards noon as we end up. So this has a storm of potential overperformance here. That's where we are right now. So again, the going forecast, which could technically be a little low based on the observations we're seeing here, is 1 to 3 inches on the coast, 2 to 5 inches on the I-95 corridor, 1 to 3 inches to the north. We'll see how this evolves, but the fact that we're seeing upgrades of warnings to the south and west of us is a concern, and we'll have to watch this and update it as we move on by tomorrow morning. I'll see you all at 6 a.m. with the latest updates. Have a wonderful night, and as always, stay safe out there.